Alright guys, so welcome to today's video, and in today's video we will work on this Anime Fighters game right here, and I have almost forgotten that I was about to upload a video and I was supposed to work on one. It is already midnight right here, and yeah, so let's get into this video, and we will try and finish this GUI or somehow, yeah, just progress within this GUI. And the topic for today is, or has to do with frames, okay? And especially frames which represent our fighters which we have equipped and which we currently have in our inventory, okay? So that's the topic for today's video, and I'm just gonna work on those frames now, and they will automatically, you know, so we will create a template, and this template will automatically pick out a fighter and will display it and will represent it, okay? So that is the meaning of those frames I'm now trying to yeah, work on, okay? So we have this frame right here, okay? And let's add a viewport frame, okay? Let's add a viewport frame to it. And yeah, just give it a certain size. And make sure that there is still some space below, because we are going to add a button, and this button is going to be responsible for unequipping, de-equipping, whatsoever, okay? Depends on where this frame is positioned. So of course, if this frame is supposed to represent an equipped character, then of course it is going to stand for unequipping this equipped character, you know? And if it is supposed to represent one of the characters you currently have in your inventory, then it can first of all stand for equipping that character, but it can also stand for selling, evolving, or yeah, just trading that character, okay? So there's much more to do with that character. But if I think about it, then we can also say the same for those equipped ones, because why shouldn't we be able to sell them? Why shouldn't we be able to evolve them or to train them, you know? So I think that I'm just gonna call this thing action, and we'll see, guys. We'll see. Let's first of all, yeah, call this unequip, because I'm just happy if we are able to yeah, just create this kind of automation, you know. Wait. Yeah, so this kind of automation which is responsible to clone those fighters inside of our frame right here, okay? So that's what I'm trying to achieve in today's video. So let's do the following. So wait, let me turn this to 1. Let me turn this to 1, and let me add this UI corner inside of this one. And let me give this a completely new color. So let's make it red. Now let's move this inside of the replicated storage. And let's call this equipped char, okay? And what is going to happen is that we are going to create a local script inside of here. And we are going to do the following. So we are first of all going to refer to our player, okay? So game players, local players. So that's the way on how you can refer to your own player from the client side. So from a local script, for example, okay? And the next step is that we are going to refer to this equipped characters or this equipped fighters folder we have. And no, not find first child, but wait for child. Equipped fighters. I'm not really sure how I have spelled that folder's name. It could be, yeah, so it is equipped characters in this case, okay? Although we have fighters, or we are supposed to call them fighters, you know? So yeah, so this variable right here, pretty interesting. We are referring to the player and then adding this wait for child to it. What this does is that it basically pauses the script and waits till it has found this instance with this name, okay? And we can use this to verify whether this folder was found. And if that's the case, then we are going to set up a function called update, okay? And what this function is supposed to do is that it is going to update this frame right here, which is responsible to display all of the equipped characters, okay? And we are going to call this function when we want to display well, wait, how could you possibly explain it? So you have to imagine that you spawn, okay? And when you spawn, all of your things load, so your folder loads, your player loads, whatsoever, okay? And this moment right here, so this part basically describes the moment when you join and just immediately are able to refer to this equipped characters folder because it has just loaded. And that's the point where we already want to load the equipped fighters from the beginning, you know? So that's basically the moment we are trying to work with right here. And you might ask, yeah, okay, so why is that even important? So why is time playing a role within this construction right here? Okay, and let me explain it to you, because there are moments, there are events when it comes to inventory systems, such as when your inventory basically changes, okay? So those kind of events are pretty important to us, because that's the point where you have to update the whole inventory, and in this case, the whole equipped fighters frame, because you basically can unequip and re-equip some certain fighters, okay? So therefore, you need to update them, okay? And that's basically the point. So equipped fighters changed. So basically, change can mean that something has been removed. Wait, I'm not even sure if this is done by change. Let's just add child edit. Okay, so if something has been added inside of our equipped fighters folder, means something has been equipped. Okay, and I was about to add the opposite case, or the opposite event, means child removed, but you have to think about it. So if you equip a character right here, then you have two possible cases. The first case is that you have not reached the maximum amount of fighters you're able to equip, and therefore are just able to equip. And the second case is that you have already reached the maximum amount of fighters you can equip, and then unequip someone, and then just re-equip. Okay, so equip someone else. And just in order to keep things efficient, I'm not going to add this opposite case of child removed, because, but wait, if I think about it, then you're also able to remove one fighter from your your frame right here, without adding a new one. Okay, so let's just go with this one. Okay, so child removed. Okay, even if it's a little bit inefficient, because we are calling this, or because that we have possible moments in which we call both of those events, but let's just keep it. Okay, all right, so those are our three events when this update function is going to run. So basically right at the beginning, and when something has been added inside of this folder, means you have equipped something, and when something has been removed from that folder, means you have unequipped something. And this can happen when you basically want to equip a new character, but your current equipped fighters tab is full. Therefore you unequip someone and then re-equip one. And that's just basically what I was trying to point out. So you're trying to update this tab because you have unequipped someone, and you update it once again because you have re-equipped someone. And so that's the inefficiency I was trying to point out. Okay, because both actions are connected to together, but you're just basically having two calls right here. But let's just skip that. Okay, so that's pretty unnecessary for you as a beginner. Okay, so we now need to work on this update function, and what is basically going to happen is that we are going to refer to this tab, to this replicated storage. Yeah, replicated storage. And we're going to clone this equipped wait. Equip char. Okay. So we are going to clone this one. No, wait. Never mind. We are going to loop through this equipped fighters tab folder. I mean. So we are basically or we are able to refer to each equipped character, or to at least its representative. And yeah, so frame. And what we are going to do is that we are going to frame. No, we are going to fighter. So we are going to clone this fighter and we are going to put it inside of this viewport frame, okay? And let me explain to you what this viewport frame is about to do. So for those of you who have watched my tower defense series, so this viewport frame right here, why are we using it? We are using it because when we clone this fighter inside of it, and when we add some scripting to it regarding camera manipulation whatsoever, we are able to display the fighter within this UI, okay? And this just overall makes things look more fancier, okay? And that's the reason why. So fighter, game, get service, replicated storage, and now wait for child, rename, clone. Okay, fighter, parent, frame, viewport frame. Okay, and now we are supposed to have a local script inside of here, and this local script is going to do everything regarding this camera manipulation. Okay, so fighter, viewport frame, camera, disable false. Okay, that's it. And after that, we are going to put this frame inside of our frame right here. So, but one more thing before we get to clone those equipped character frames into our equipped tab right here. So before we do that, we need to clear our equipped tab from the frames before. And how can we do that? So we can just basically loop through this this frame. Okay, so this equipped frame right here. So get children, do if v is a frame, then v destroy. Okay, so we are looping through this frame and we are basically checking if the thing or the instance we are currently at is a frame. And if that's the case, then we want to destroy it. And if we take a look at it, then of course the frame itself is a frame, but this one is excluded from this loop. And everything else, so everything necessary, so this UI grid layout and this local script are not frames. Therefore, they are, they are going to be ignored by this loop right here, okay? All right, so let's get into this camera, okay? So instead of this camera script, so okay, so what are we supposed to do? First of all, we have to create a camera, so a new camera instance. Otherwise, you cannot work with, or you cannot display some camera manipulation stuff. Okay, so you will need a camera for that. So we are basically creating a new camera inside of this viewport frame. And it is important that you disable this local script, okay? Now, camera type, so make sure that the camera type is set to scriptable. Okay, and also make sure that the current camera of this viewport frame is set to this camera right here we are creating currently, okay? Otherwise, this viewport frame is just going to ignore the camera, okay? And it is not going to use it. Okay, now, next thing is that we have already talked about that we are going to, clone this fighter inside of this viewport frame. And we, of course, have to refer to this one. So script parent. Okay, here comes an interesting part. So we should, first of all, frame name. So we should change the name of this frame right here. And change the name of the fighter afterwards to fighter. And let me tell you why. Because we are receiving, or we are running into a difficulty when we want to refer to this fighter. So we are, of course, trying to keep things as automated as possible, but we are not able to do that in this case if we wouldn't have done this, okay? Because every fighter would have had a different name, okay? So therefore we need one general name for each fighter within this frame, of course, and that's basically what happens right here. But we also need to keep those frames apart, and you may ask why, because of course when we want to interact with those frames and with its buttons, then we need to know which frame is a representative of which fighter. And therefore I have changed the frame's name to the fighter's one, and then I have changed the fighter's name to general term, okay, fighter, of course, which we can use to access those fighters pretty automatically within this local script, okay? So fighter. Now we should add a variable, okay, rot value, so rotation value, and I'm gonna explain this later. So if fighter, then okay, so if this fighter right here was found, then now I'm gonna add some kind of loop. So run service render stepped connect function. Now hum root, so humanoid root part basically. So fighter humanoid root part. Now we are going to create a certain C frame, okay? And this C frame is going to be responsible to, or it is going to define, or it is going to play a huge role when it comes to our camera's position at the end. And this C frame right here consists of our fighter's C frame, or especially his humanoid root part C frame, multiplied with some other C frame values right here, so C frame angles. Okay, math rot value, which is at 0 at the beginning, okay, and math rat 180 multiplied with C frame new. And I basically need to experiment around a little when it comes to those C frame values, and we will do that. Okay, C frame dot new, come on, stop playing, come on. So C frame P, so basically the C frame in a vector, and our humanoid root part's position, and we want to increase this rotation value with every loop by 1. Okay, so I'm going to explain this rotation value later on when you're able to see what this viewport frame does, because then it gets more clear to you, I think. Viewport frame is not a valid member of viewport frame fighter. Fighter viewport frame camera disable. No, not fighter, but frame. Come on. Frame. All right. Disable. Come on. Disabled, of course. There we go. Alright, so as you can see, our fighters right here are spinning. Okay, so they are rotating, spinning whatsoever pretty slowly. And that's the result of this rotation value. Okay, so this rotation value right here starts at 0. And it is not constant, means it does change. Okay, and it does change within this loop right here. And this change of the rotation value results in different rotations of our fighter. Okay, so our fighter does not have a constant rotation, but the rotation changes, and that is because we have added this dynamic, okay, because it changes, so this dynamic variable right here. And this dynamic variable is dynamic because we have defined it right here. So rotation value equals our current rotation value plus 1. And considering that this is within a loop, means this runs, yeah, almost infinitely. We always change this variable at the end, okay? And this results in a different rotation value, and this different rotation value results in a different rotation for our fighter at the end. And that's basically what happens, okay? So we are creating the C-frame right here, which is responsible for the camera's position at the end, and we are basically defining the camera's position right here. And this one consists of the C-frame right here, especially the vector of the C-frame, okay? So that's what this P does. P returns the C-frame with the position of the first vector 3, and an orientation pointed towards the second, okay? And yeah, so this is the second, which is basically the fighter's humanoid report's position. Alright, and that's it, guys, for this video. So we have now achieved what we wanted to achieve. Okay, so we have displayed our equipped characters right here, and that's cool. Okay, and some of you have been complaining about the video's length lately, okay? So that I'm only creating 10-minute videos, alright? And not 1-hour videos. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I have the feeling that barely anyone wants to watch those videos, therefore I just think that 10-minute videos are okay for you. Okay, but if you want those 1-hour, 2-hour videos back, then let me know, okay? So show me a massive support, and I will really consider creating those. Alright, guys, with that being said, leave a like, subscribe, share this video with all of your friends, leave me feedback in the comment section, guys. Take care and see you in the next video.